Right, so we're back. Do you know what really surprises me? Yeah. Whoever went to make the call, yeah, to interrupt, the number doesn't exist. So how can you make a call from a number that doesn't exist? Doesn't make a lot of sense. But it is what it is. Now I know you can't hear me properly because the kettle is on. Right, so there are two people here. Okie dokes, we got two. Righty-ho. Yeah. Right, so got three people. Okay. Let's get the cooker done. Hello. Hello and welcome. So, as I was showing you before, I got rudely interrupted by somebody trying to ring from a number that doesn't exist. And how you can do that, that's a little bit above my pay grade. But notification is do not disturb. I'm going to do that for every single live as we move forward. And we got, is that Singer Bob? No, Sunger. Hiya Richie, hope you're well, mate. Right, so this morning I put out a post. I put two posts out actually on the YouTube channel, and I've yet got to share them, but I will be sharing them. So before I got interrupted before, I won't get interrupted again. Now, as most of you know, I write and I sing. And what I'm going to show you is this. Where is it? Yeah. So, yeah. So, here we have a lad. I'm not going to play his video. No. But as you can see, he has a keyboard there. Yeah. So, he has a musical instrument. Why do you do me like that is his song, sing the song, and it has 1.2k so far. Now I've subscribed to him in the last clip, and like I said, he's singing a song which you can check out, and it is JJ Bull, there. And he has 18.1k in subscribers. Yeah. I have songs which I do, which are Hey Bonnie Lad, Are You Brave Enough, and Streets of Home, Rise Up, the one I did earlier, which is Bring the Thunder and Bring the Lightning to St. James's Park tomorrow night. I was watching fellow YouTuber Antonio Mango, who is an under 23 scout. And something happened last night watching that. And it was this. He said, Antonio, we can dominate. It's going to take an absolute effort to dominate. And what he was mentioning the Carabao Cup final in his video with when we took on Liverpool at Wembley. And he mentioned one player who did 3 job roles, Joe Linton. So tomorrow night, Joe Linton needs to be on fire. Totally. But not just Joe Linton. Bruno and everybody else who takes to the pitch bring the game, because the game's under the lights at St. James's Park, take the game to Liverpool. And I said this after watching the previous match where the start of the season, which was on a Friday night. And I'll stick by that. Liverpool do not need our star striker. They have enough firepower without him. And what's confusing is this. Why put a bid in? Now, they got Hugo Ekitike. They got him. But they were dangling a carrot. And they said they wanted our player. So they dangled the carrot and they got the player from the European team to go into their squad. So they don't need him at all. Then they've come in with an insult. It's like, they've walked up to Eddie Howe, slap across the face and turn around and say, we're going to offer you this, knowing it's going to be rejected. And that's the crazy part about it. You see, if you want somebody, let's look at where we are to Liverpool. We're the northernmost team in the Premier League. And many teams, hate coming to St. James's Park. Why is that? Because Newcastle United play at St. James's Park, and we have turned St. James's Park into a fortress. our players have not only gone out and played, earned their money, but we have turned St James's Park into a fortress. And we've got to do that all the way through the 25-26 season. And what that's going to do is this. That's going to say to any club, whether that be Sunderland, Burnley, Bournemouth, or Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, who we play tomorrow night. You come in here, and if you don't play out of your skin, you're getting knout. And that's what I think we can do. I honestly believe that we can smash them. But we all have to pull together to achieve that. We all have to play 100%. Now, many people will turn around and say about playing above that percentage. It's impossible. You give your best on the given day. Harvey Barnes, Anthony Gordon. We have two Anthonys now. Anthony Elanga, new to our team. Jacob Ramsey. And, excuse me, I'm going to... Excuse that one. But we have the players, We have Sandro Tonali, our midfield general. Bruno Guimaraes, midfield general. We have Joe Linton, again, midfield general. These are important players for our club. These players need to push to the absolute limit because we're playing last season's champions. We are playing the defending champions of the Premier League. And every single person tomorrow who is going to St James's Park, what I expect is this: a cauldron of noise. I want those commentators for Sky Sports, for TNT, and all of the other, like Peacock, ESPN, I want them to be shouting down their microphone because the noise inside St James's Park is so powerful. We have to be that extra person on the pitch to inspire. Harvey, Anthony Gordon, Anthony Elanga, Jacob Murphy, Sandro Tonali, even Dan Burn. Because we know Dan Burn has the capability to score as well. And we have to keep them under the cosh tomorrow. If we can do that, then I will class that as a success. Now, there's 28 here, and we have 2 likes. Now, there's one thing, yeah. There's many great, and they are all great YouTube channels. I mention them all of the time. But, and there is a big but, it's a capital B, but. As I mentioned in the previous, here there is Mr. underscore G, and there is the other. There is two coins, yeah, and more are coming. And the reason is this: when you do a meme, you get 1 billion coins. Now, one of our competitors, yeah, Manchester City, down the road in the Midlands, yeah, in the middle of the country, yeah. Manchester City have a badge either here or it's here. OK, I think it's OKB or it's OKE, one of the two. And it is a cryptocurrency exchange, meaning they are ahead of our club in terms of money coming in to the club. We have spoken about sponsorship, correct? Sponsorship for the Benton training facility and a possibility of a brand new training facility, which would probably be in the South Gosforth area where the racecourse is, because there is enough land to put it there. But nothing has been said. Now, so what I'm looking at is this: the win tomorrow. I would like the win tomorrow against every odd by every television pundit, every journalist. So we're swimming like the salmon up the river against the current, because that's what we're going to have to do. As a club, we are going to have to swim against the current. And if we do that, and we show Liverpool no respect under the lights, we can take all of the points. But I don't want all of the points just at St James's Park. No, I want us to go to Anfield and do the same there. Why? Because it's going to say to the chairman, beat them at home and beat them away. Do the unthinkable. And do the same with other clubs. And then when it comes round to the New Year and Christmas, where we are, we've earned that right. Now, one thing I'd like to see is this. The lad from Leicester to come in. The lad who scored yesterday. What's he called? Alexander Surloff. I think that's how you pronounce it. He is 29 years old. And also, another two. One is young, 19, and one is 20. One's from Germany, not sure where the other one's from, but these are both big lads. We have time. We have time. Because tomorrow is the 25th. So Eddie Howe and the chairman and Jamie Rubin, you have the time from tomorrow until I think it's 7 p.m. on the 1st. I don't want any excuses at all. None. I want these players in through the door. Because we have a lot of games this season. We have the Carabao Cup to defend. And I want us to defend that Carabao Cup. I want to go back to Wembley. But I want to go back to Wembley twice. So we defend the Carabao Cup this season. And we say to the FA Cup, we're going to have you too. Bold statement. You agree? Bold statement? There's an old saying, it's older than me. Shy Ben's getting out. Yeah. So, on that pitch, my songs, are you brave enough? If you're playing in front of 52,300, you've got to be brave enough. Rise up. Rise up is to turn around and say to our players. You know, people have said in the past days about our players, yeah, and how much we pay our players. We pay our players peanuts. 150,000, 160,000. Now, take a look at this. A good hard look at this. Take a look at how much Erling Haaland at City gets. Take a look at how much Liverpool are paying Hugo Ekitike. Size up them players, how much they're paid, and our players. You see, when we had Paul Mitchell as director of football, he said a very powerful statement. And it was to do with scouting and transfers. Our club needs a good shake-up. It needs a good stiff steel-toe cap, boot, right up its jacksy for us to survive. Now, we need to look cold, hard facts. Cold, hard facts are this. Something I came across ages and ages ago. 85% owned by the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. So, why don't we have Aramco at St. James's Park? Aramco at the new stadium, which, let's be honest, nobody knows about. Why? No communication. That needs, as I said, a cold, hard, steel toe cap right up the crack of your backside. Because that, and only that, wakes you up. And also, it brings a tear here. Yeah. A cold, hard kick up the backside. It's 2025-26 football season. Sunderland are above Newcastle right now. Right now. On a Sunday morning. Or it might be Sunday afternoon now. Because someone's tried to ring 4 times. Yeah. But I'm still here. Now, what I want to say to you all is this. Yeah. The hope is, as we progress through 25-26 football season, if you see me at St. James's Park, you want your picture taken with us, selfie, no problem. No problem at all. Yeah. The hope is these new bits and pieces that is going to provide. The meme coins, they are for and only for this channel. That's it. Cameras, office space where all of these pictures, the elephant picture, that elephant picture, those are my mum's. The dishes, all you need is love, etc. Yeah, they all go when we get the new office. What we're going to have at the new office is shirts bought from the club shop, put into a frame, and then there will be all the way across the back wall, and all of those will be from the club shop, putting cold, hard cash into the club. Not going to the Chinese knockoffs or anything like that. Into the club to help the club. The other different things, going to look at them to say to Jamie, to Yasir, this is available and it's been created for you. Now, if we do get an announcement before Christmas morning that we're going to play at St James's until the new 80,000 seater gets built, we can have a good Christmas, because nothing has been said so far. The club is acting like MI5 and MI6, British intelligence. Sorry, you're not British intelligence, you're a football club. Sorry to pop that bubble. You play football at St James's Park and you play football at an away venue. And if you are lucky enough, Newcastle United, you will get to Wembley. End of. There is nothing secret about that. So, who is going to be our new CEO? Who is going to be below him as in director of football? No idea. But these people are needed now. Stop messing around. Stop messing around. So, one thing I was showing you before, I'll show you again. I'm not going to show you the lad. I'm going to show you this. Right. So, make a GIF. Yeah. So we're going to do these. And these are going to be available. They've got to be approved by YouTube. But they are going to happen. They're going to happen, hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Within the month of September. So that you can send them, and we're going to have the same for membership tiers. 1, 2, 3 on the membership tiers. And the positive thing is the meme is going to pay for the office space where the walls are going to be green and blue. Yeah? That's what the plan is. We're going to have at the office, we're going to have, I believe it is a Canon or a Nikon, if I've got that correct. They are going to be SLR cameras, and that's going to be to back up this. because this is an ultra high definition, and it's one thing I call it's a throwaway camera, because it's under £100 and it will just be used as I'm coming up to St James's, or it'll be the I think it's the Canon EOS one where you have the lens that slots on the front. I know a few YouTubers who use that, and that's what the meme coin is going to be going towards acquiring. Then all the receipts go into a box, and then come each, I think it's March, all the receipts go to an accountant. And by the time it comes round to March, there will be no more universal credit. Gone. Out of the door. Signed off, and that sign off will be right on video, so that you can all see it. And that means the rent for this place and the new place all comes from that meme. So, and the reason why I said this ages and ages ago, if you go back to Christmas time, I mentioned all of these changes in 2025. Now, somebody said to me earlier about Streets of Home, the game. They also said about Street Racer, the game. And they also mentioned, well, they said about Streets of Home as in the game. Somebody called something Ninja. Yeah. One thing I'm going to say to you all is this. I'm going to make a reel, a 90-second reel, and I'm going to say in that 90 seconds this. What I want is games developers, companies in the United Kingdom. It is no good anybody coming in and turn around and saying, yes, we'll do it, but we're American or we're European. You got to be here in the United Kingdom. And I want a game where it is cross-platform, so it's PC, it's Xbox Series X, not before. So it won't be back compatible to the very first Xbox. No, it's Xbox Series X, PlayStation, mobile, and PC. And I want it fast. Because, as I'm going to say to the person who said in my comments, the ideas here normally would get written down on something like that, an A4 writing pad. Now I have an extra tool in the box. That extra tool is artificial intelligence. And I'm going to push artificial intelligence until it breaks. Then it is up to those who are being paid to do the code, fix it, so I can break it again. This is how we advance forward. Afternoon, Corvo. Now, as Corvo, you can't put a game simultaneously on a mobile and a high-end comp. Why not? Why not? Explain in the comments of this video so I can go back through it, because we are going to push new ground and new opportunities. And when people turn around and say, you can't do this and you can't do that, why can't you do that? You see, years and years ago, I look at things like this. If I can think something, if I can think it, it's finding the way from the thought, finding the way to make it real. So, what's Corvo saying? What's Corvo saying here? Because mobiles aren't nearly as powerful. Well, Corvo, here's a thing for you, and I don't know if you actually know this. Processing power for mobile devices is going down a rabbit hole. And that's a positive. And the reason why it's a positive is because I'm not going to tell you the technology. No, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to keep that. But I know that processing power is going down a specific route. So I know the possibility is there. And I also know that these FAB is the technical term, FAB. They are doing super advanced work, which I'm not going to mention in this live, but I do know it is happening, and they are chucking billions and billions of dollars at it. Now, dollars are about as much use as a chocolate fire guard here. That is very true, because we use GBP. But one thing I want to say to you all is this, when we get to 3,000, we need to double from 3,000 to 6 to 12 and carry on. And one thing I'm going to say to you all is this, opportunities. That is the road we are taking. Opportunities. I have things in the pipeline, and we're going to use every single one to push to new heights. And the shirts, the giveaways in the future. Now, I did a video yesterday which was tiny video short. Tiny. Absolutely tiny. But in that tiny video, you saw the core. The core's $36. It's £35, sorry, 35 point blah 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 dollars a month for core of StreamYard. Now if we do that, yeah, that means we're going to be going behind a paywall. Yeah, Athletic does it. Newcastle Fans TV, they do it. Gallagher Shots, they do it. Others do it because it grows. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So, there is a heck of a lot of new stuff coming right here. That means Corvo is going to need help. So, when we get to 3,000 subscribers, I can then turn round to the job centre and say, this is where I was, this is where I am now. And the purpose of the meme is to help fund what you're seeing. It's to help fund equipment which is better than this, and computers which are better and faster than that. All of these pieces of equipment cost money. That is the exact reason why I've done what I've done. But one thing I want to tell you, and like I mentioned this earlier, yeah, when I was chatting to Corvo, yeah, mobile devices are going to increase in power tenfold. 10 times faster. Bush. I know that's coming. I've watched one good place to watch is BBC early in the morning, where they do the tech stuff. Also, another place to look at for that is Bloomberg Television, etc. No, they're going to go beyond 4K. That's what you don't realize. They're going to push and push and push the boundary. If you don't push the boundary, you don't know where it snaps. And to find out where it breaks, then you repair it, you carry on. Which is why one of the things I said about what I'm going to show you right now. That, yeah, you can see me, yeah, ooh, yeah. That is a 55-inch, right? And as you can tell by the 55-inch, it's on a bracket and it is a very thin screen. Would you agree? Yes? When I was talking to you all about 32k, it was to take what I've just showed you, break it, and then put it back together. Better, faster. And that's where the other stuff I'm not going to speak about is talking about. Yeah. Corvo was saying, yeah, but the processing unit isn't there yet. That's why in the paper for 32k, we are looking at the universities. In universities, you get young people coming in who listen to lectures about dynamics, environments, and push the envelope. Some of those students, when they go home and they write their thesis, push the envelope. And that's what we're going to do. That is why the smart contract ERC20 is coming, to push and push hard. And then at some point, we take 100 people, or like say 100 to 500 people, take them into a room and brainstorm in that room. Listening to everybody's ideas. Big, huge whiteboard, which Lee Lawler of Newcastle Fans TV was on about, having a whiteboard like up behind him. Formations, tactics, inverts, outverts, all that sort of stuff. And with like what I've just showed you there, and 32k is to turn around and say, when this is sold on the exchange, the money goes to building. You break it, you repair it, break it, repair it, and you move forward. So there we go. A little bit of a tangent, that last bit. However, technology has jumped massive amounts. Give you an example. 2017 to right now. Yeah. 2017, I had lads at work, one specific lad at work, who had an Apple Watch. Yeah. Now, I'm not wearing a watch. I'm going to get you in a minute, Corvo, right? I'm going to get to that in a second. But this lad was wearing an Apple Watch, and his missus rang him while he was at work. And what he did was this. Crazy. But this is what he did. Bus steering wheel, yeah. There's a bus steering wheel. He's driving along. His missus rings and he goes, "Hello!" One hand off the wheel. "Hello!" he got sacked for that. Yeah. Unbelievable. But he got sacked for that. And I went, because we were talking, I turned round and I went, "You're having a laugh, aren't you?" He went, "No." She rang. My phone was in my bag, which is on the floor, but my phone and my watch are from Apple. So when the call came through, it diverted straight to there, and I went like that, and I was like, mind blown. So let's go to Corvo and let's see what Corvo is saying. All of those best and bright students go to work for the biggest IT companies. You are very correct. You are very, very correct. Who have access to the best research and development. Well, Corvo's saying R&D budgets. Yeah, but I get it. R&D is research and development. Got you. Spot on, mate. Absolutely spot on. Budgets and equipment, they put hundreds of millions into research and they can't do it. I've got you 1000%. You are absolutely correct. But if you go backwards in time to a British guy goes to America and he meets two other people. Yeah. And he turns around and he says to these two other people, "This is what we're going to do." That man, long gone. The other two, I think there's only one left out of the three of them. And he is called Steve Wozniak. The company. What's the name of the company? You had three people started it off. Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and another. And I believe there's only one left, which is Steve Wozniak. That company is now worth $1 trillion plus because one person had a vision, and no matter what anybody said to contradict his vision, he had one single goal, and now look at what the world is like. If you go all the way back, right, and you take him out of the equation, yeah, if that meeting of those three brilliant minds had never taken place, what would the world be like? He was an engineering genius, Steve G. You are absolutely spot on. Now, like I said to you just before there, I've grown so tired of things the way they are. When I was in Newcastle and being pulled over the coals at work, if you change and people don't like the change, do it anyway. So I did. I went at the time when I was in Newcastle. I was doing products. Those products include that. Yeah, that's what they include. And what I found super funny at the time, we just want you to be a driver. Fair enough, I'm coming in, I'm doing the driving. They objected. And do you want to know what the stupidest part of it was? That company, I've just held it in my hand, yeah, Forever Living. In America, they have a thing called states. State. Bolted together because they're part of the same country. But two states in America, when I got pulled in 4 or 5 times on the same issue, and I turned around and I says, straight up in front of everybody, the union, night, everything. And I went, are you technically stupid? That went down like a bloody lead balloon. True. But I turned round and I said, are you technically stupid? You tell us to write down on a bit of paper if there's an issue with a piece of equipment. That's American. Yeah? Now, that is in the next state to the company I am showing on video. So, if it's in the next state, it's still inside the United States of America. And I went, you're pulling me in because I'm emailing them, asking questions. And you're giving me a hard time. And yeah, it went down like a lead balloon. But the look on their faces when I turned around and says, are you technically stupid? That you couldn't buy. Am I a Notts County fan? What do you see? What do you see right there? What do you see? Now, one other thing I'm going to say to you all is this. There are going to be shake-ups. There are going to be changes. Some of you may turn around and not like. Tough. Those changes are going to happen. The mission is 3,000 subscribers. And before anybody says a boo to a goose or a bat to a dog, let me just tell you this. To give a like is free. To give a subscribe is free. And to those people, and there's going to be a little few of you, if you've made it to an hour and 4 minutes, that's an hour and 4 minutes you're never ever going to get back. Ever. It's like staying awake 24 hours and then trying to get your sleep back. It's gone. So, what I'm going to say to you all is this. 3,000 subscribers. If we hit that tomorrow, at 8 o'clock, I'll put a post out thanking everybody. And don't tell me it's not possible, because anything is possible if you use that. Thank you all. And let's push for higher. Let's push. Let's be greedy. Let's go for 50, 60,000. Anyway, thank you. And see you all later on. And spread the word.